Hi everyone. Will you check out that amazing sky behind me? It is so incredible. The clouds are rolling in, which I'm a little bit happy about because when the sun is just all here, I don't have any eyelashes to keep it out of my eyes. And additionally, I was shining so much. I was trying to figure out every single way I could to stop shining. And with the sun out, and I just look a little bit less shiny. Although, why do we want to look less shiny? That's a weird thing. It would seem that it's good that I'm having an impossible time not shining. Hi. I have really good news that I want to share with y'all. That it's been bugging the crap out of me to not be able to share it with you sooner. A couple of weeks ago, I went in for what I hope would be my final round of chemo, and for those who don't know, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer this past July. So I went in and did a CAT scan a few days ago, and then I met with my oncologist and found out that my scans are clear. Right now, this body right here, there is no evidence of cancer in this body. Saying that has been uh, so emotional, taking that into my being. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the experience of these past months and my experience and what I'm thinking about moving forward. I think a lot of folks know that if you have cancer and you get rid of it, there's a chance of it recurring, and there is a risk of recurrence with ovarian cancer. So what that means for me is every moment moving forward, my priority is going to be my health, my spiritual, physical, and mental health. I'm going to be taking care of this body right here in every single way that I know how to, and I'm going to keep learning more ways to know how to. The other thing that it means is for the rest of my life, I'm going to be uncertain about how much time I have left in this world. And I remember when I first had that thought, it being a really terrifying thought. But what I've learned throughout this process has been that waking up to my own mortality has not made me a less happy person. It's made me a far happier person. I feel woken up to what is important in my life in a new way. It feels almost impossible to not see the beauty of this world, to prioritize the sweetness and the goodness of this life whenever I possibly can, and to be no longer apathetic about the ways that my heart hasn't opened. People have commented throughout this time about my hopefulness, and well, I want to live. Gosh, y'all, I want to live. I want to live to be 180 years old. I can't even imagine how amazing my fashion will be then. Well, I want to live a very, very long. I My hope hasn't been about living or dying, or the bulk of it hasn't been about that throughout this time. It's been about loving or not loving, and living in a way where I could take this opportunity. Opportunity is just sort of the natural word that comes out of my mouth when I think about this experience. This opportunity to grow my heart bigger, to become of a different version of myself, to grow in ways that I hadn't yet grown. And I wrote something about this earlier, but I haven't wanted to get through this time. I've wanted to love through it. I've wanted to learn through it. I've wanted to open through it. And thus far, that is what has happened. It has been an immensely expansive experience for me, and one that I am so grateful for, because I was not. There were ways I hadn't trusted myself before, or trusted my capacity to be able to do something like this, and it's good to know. It's good to know that I can. And I'm trying to think of something else that comes up for me. One thing that helped me so much, if folks are going through something similar to this, and something that helped me, and I know will continue to help me, is was sort of this decision to not be looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, because I knew from the beginning that there was a chance that there wouldn't be light at the end of the tunnel. So I kind of immediately got out of the tunnel altogether, and just decided to look for the light wherever I was. And sometimes it was just a spark, or a speck, a tiny little thing. But if you put your attention on a speck of light long enough, it starts to look like the sun. And some days people would have to find the light for me. I've been, and they would. I've been so held through this time by my community and by all of you. I'm sure you can imagine, for a partner to support someone through chemo is it's a full-time job. And Meg, my partner, has held me so well, and this could like turn into an award speech of thank yous. My family, my friends, poets and people from junior high who I hadn't heard from, since I had a boyfriend and a perm. And so much has changed from then. I've changed so much from then, since then. And in some ways I haven't changed at all, which is its own kind of sweetness too. In regards to the support I've had, something I want to mention is that I've had support from folks who also have cancer or have been through cancer themselves, and an enormous amount of the support I got has been from people who have chronic illnesses other than cancer, such as Lyme disease and lupus and depression and PTSD and chronic fatigue, all of these chronic illnesses, and folks really struggling, really going through it themselves, showing up. And I've done virtually no reading in this time except for poetry. I've only read poetry, so I'm not that educated on anything I'm about to say, or I'm not at all educated on what I'm about to say, and I hope I plan to educate myself soon, but I want to learn about our cultural relationship with cancer as compared to other illnesses, because in my experience, the belief and understanding and the cultural kind of sort of like commitment to showing up to people, and my witnessing is different with cancer as compared to other illnesses. With my experience in this process, I didn't have to struggle to be understood or believed. It felt like folks really knew the seriousness of it and have known how to show up. Friends with other illnesses, such as Lyme or lupus or anxiety and depression, I know aren't commonly getting that same support. And I want to know what it will take culturally for us to shift, so that we have the stamina of compassion to show up for folks whose pain and struggle can be decades and decades long, where there isn't ever a day it doesn't let up. And that's not to say that can't be the case with cancer. And that's also not to suggest, I don't want to suggest that everyone with cancer has had the support that I have had. I know that's not true. I've been so supported and so held, and I know that's also unique in a lot of ways. The chemo room is, I thought maybe I could do this without crying, but there are so many feelings that go into all of this. The chemo room, every time I went to do chemo, I would have somebody who loved me sitting beside me. My chemo days were 8 hours long, and I would have somebody sitting beside me throughout, and there are plenty of people in the chemo room who are there alone, and there are people who you can tell don't want to be there alone, and also people who are there alone who are only doing chemo in hopes of prolonging their lives by a month or two. So what else do I want to say? I want to talk about this. Maybe this will be the final thing that I would say, but throughout this time, the words battle and fight have not resonated with me much. I understand why they do for folks. I definitely do. I definitely do. But this time has been extra emotional because my aunt died of ovarian cancer. It was very painful for my family, and it's something that I know you never stop grieving. And I had a friend in our community pass away of cancer almost right before my own diagnosis, and so I was carrying them in my heart throughout this time, and then thinking about the idea of winning a battle. I just didn't like the language of that, because it would suggest that somebody else lost theirs, which in my head sort of subtly suggests that somebody didn't try hard enough, or didn't have the right attitude. That's just that's garbage. Whenever I leave this world, if it's 60 years from now, I wouldn't want anybody to say I'd lost some battle. Like, I'll be a winner that day, my friend a winner, my aunt a winner, and all of us, and all of y'all. I cannot thank you enough for your support. It was never an option for me to not tell you what was going on. I don't know how folks, have the strength to do that, because I know that I wouldn't have been able to get through the loneliness of hiding that. So thank you so much for everything, and I'm going to continue, I think, to keep telling you all my secrets. I know that this isn't a process in any way that stops here, and I'm just I'm so grateful for y'all. And I have a bunch of goofy videos that I think I may share with you, because I took a bunch of funny videos from my final day of chemo, and I'm quite drugged, and so there's a sort of ridiculous party happening inside me from the steroids that they put you on, and it might be a little embarrassing for me to share, but I'm going to do it anyway. I hope y'all are healthy, and I hope you're held, and I hope all the good stuff in this life is finding its way to you. I just cherish y'all, and thank you.